If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on The More Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for new weekly television and radio shows.
Welcome back. My guest now is Sir Patrick Moore. Over 50 years, Patrick has had a varied career in astronomy, which has led him to work with NASA. He is most credited for discovering the Eastern Sea on the Moon. Patrick is also the author of various books about the universe and presents The Sky at Night, which has just celebrated its 700th episode. Sir Patrick Moore now joins us via video link from his home in Southsea. Sir Patrick Moore, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
What sparked your interest, Patrick, in astronomy?
Reading a book when I was just 7 years old. A small blue book called The Story of the Solar System. It's on my mantelpiece over there. I read it through and I was hooked. Simple as that.
Have there been any people who have influenced your work, would you say?
Yes, several I may say. When I was very young, an old family friend called Major Levine, Arthur Levine. He lived in Southsea enough, in West Street where I live now. I didn't live here then. I lived in Bognor. And he took me on and showed me his telescope and gave me my first views of the moon, and generally interested me. And then, when I was still a boy, proposed me for the British Astronomical Association. I was the youngest ever member then, so I joined up.
So who's the most interesting person you've met?
Most interesting person I've met? I've got to say Einstein, haven't I? I met him when I was 17, training to be a navigator with the RAF. I was in the United States and given a week's leave, and I met Einstein then. And exactly what I expected. Charming, courteous, old-fashioned, exactly the Einstein you would imagine him to be. So I've got to give I've got to say Einstein.
And what did you speak to Einstein about?
I had two conversations with him, luckily. A little reception I was at, and a little reception afterwards I was at. And this is rather a funny story. As you know, he was a very accomplished violinist. Had his violin with him, he'd been playing. So plays the violin. I play with the swan. There was no accompaniment. 500 swan. There was a piano there, and I knew the accompaniment. I've accompanied Einstein. Oh, for a tape. But there weren't any tapes in 1940.
Would you class him as a scientific genius then, Patrick?
Oh yes. The greatest since Newton. I'm sure of that. No one like him. No one like him now. It'll be a long time before we get another Einstein. Just when we can't tell.
And can The Sky at Night continue without you, Patrick?
I certainly shan't be here, but I see no reason why the programme shouldn't be, because it's watched by about 1 million people at a time, and I think it's brought other people into astronomy, so I hope it'll go on. After all, I'm 88. I can't hope for many more years now, but I hope someone will take on from me and take it on from there.
And what's your most memorable Sky at Night programme, Patrick?
The one showing the first pictures from the other side of the moon, always turned away from us. And they were Russian pictures, taken by a Russian probe, and they used my charts of the moon's age to tie them up. And the pictures came through when I was actually on the air. The Russians sent them, and I was on the air and said, look, in a minute now we'll see the first pictures of the far side of the moon. I don't know what they'll be like, we'll wait and see. And here they come, and up they came from Munich 3.
Okay, and regarding amateur astronomy, how do you see light pollution as a problem for amateur astronomy?
Light pollution now is a great problem for the amateur astronomy, and particularly over here in Britain. Even in some of our great observatories, there have been problems there, but I think it won't be ruinous. But the more we turn on our lights, the better.
Now, you met Edwin Hubble. What sort of person was he like?
Edwin Hubble has a reputation for being aloof and distant. Well, I must say, I didn't find him that way. I met him when he was near the end of his career, and I was still young, but he was always very courteous to me, and I liked him very much. But of course, I didn't know him well, because he died before I was fully mature, so to speak.
Now, one of your friends was Arthur C. Clarke. What memories do you have of him?
Oh, a great many. A great many memories I have. Of Arthur Clarke, I have a great many memories. I first met him when I was 12, he was 17. We became lifelong friends. And we've worked together on many occasions, although not until his last days did we actually write a book together. And that was the way we wrote. All proceeds going to that ghastly Tooth Army at the head of there. And we did that together. But we worked together on more occasions than I can count.
Now, where is space research taking us with regards going back to the moon and eventually going to Mars?
I wonder where space research is going to take us. Are we going to go back to the moon? Yes, I'm sure we will set up a lunar base. Just when depends, I think, partly upon finance and partly upon politics. We'll do it all right. Further than that, I don't know. Mars, well, much further away, and the trouble there is radiation. We're going to be in space for weeks, exposed to dangerous radiations, and we haven't yet solved that problem. Until we do, Mars is out of reach. It'll come one day, but not yet.
And do you believe that one of the reasons that we have not been back is because we only just made it to the moon, and even with today's technology, it would still be a struggle?
Why haven't we been back here before now? Well, in part because there is now a collaboration between Britain and Russia, or Europe and Russia. But of course the Russians ran out of money, and money is essential. And you need the will to do it, and you need the collaboration of all the world's leaders. And looking around the present world's leaders inspires me with a feeling of no confidence at all. We've got to wait and see.
Yeah, but what about people who argue about the cost of going into outer space? I mean, surely there are some benefits of going into outer space, such as medicine and technology.
Space research is now linked with all other kinds of science, including medical research, and many lives have been saved by equipment developed for use in space. And the lunar base will be of immense value in many ways, but it'll happen all right, but I don't quite know when.
And what's your opinion on life beyond the Earth?
One question I always asked is there life beyond the Earth? My answer is, I'm quite sure there is, but I can't prove it yet. Look at it this way. Our galaxy contains 100,000 million stars, many of them with planets, many Earths, and we can see 1,000 million galaxies, and that's only part of them. And surely we can't be the only living things. I don't believe that for a moment, but of course we can't prove it, and we've no proof yet of any life beyond the Earth. I think the clue may be Mars. I don't mean Martians or little green men, but if we find any trace of life on Mars, and can prove it's not Earth contamination, then we know that life will appear where it can. And that'll be a pointer to the fact that there must be many, many Earths and much, a great deal of life in the universe, but we'll know one day.
What would it mean for mankind if we find life in the universe, Patrick?
If we find life elsewhere, it'll alter all our thinking, won't it? We'll realise how unimportant we really are. It'll alter all our concepts, even our religion. Well, it'll be the biggest discovery we've ever made. And I'm sure that it will be made, but it may be that they'll contact us, because we by radio. I don't think we had any visitors yet, and certainly flying saucers, no. I'd love to think so. But I'm sure there is life out there, and I'd like to believe it.
What about people who say it's dangerous to make contact? What would you say?
I've heard people who say we should keep ourselves to ourselves, and it's dangerous to try and make contact. Well, I've got two answers to that. First of all, we've done it. We've been broadcasting now for a great many years, and our radio waves are far into space. Secondly, any civilization advanced enough to come here is going to be far more advanced than we are, and will have left war far behind them. Remember the wise words of Percival Lowell, wrong about Mars, but about anything else, that war among us is a survival from savage ages, and affects now the boyish, unthinking element of the nation. And beings who come here will left that far behind, so I'm not a bit worried.
Okay. And what are some of your key memories of the famous astronauts that you've met?
I have met many of the astronauts and all the lunar ones, because I was on the lunar survey committee. And there are different kinds of people. In Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong are quite different. They share several things though, more than their fair share of bravery, common sense and improvisation. They've got that, but otherwise they're quite different. I mean, Neil Armstrong is an introvert, doesn't like being interviewed. Buzz Aldrin, in the best sense of the word, is a publicist, and you can go that way. And the Russians are the same. Russian astronauts are the same.
And what excites you about the future of astronomy?
I'm excited by the future of astronomy. I don't know so much about manned exploration of space, but certainly unmanned research is going on apace now. We know far more about the far reaches than we did only a few years ago. And new information is coming in almost every day.
What are your views on space tourism?
I think tourism to the moon will come in the foreseeable future. And Horizon have already started that, haven't they?
Yeah.
And I think that will happen. Further than that, I don't know. As I say, it all depends upon how we get on with the radiation problem. Because we can't get to Mars until we solve that. And whether Mars tourism will become possible, well, all I can say is wait and see.
And what does the universe mean to you, Patrick?
I've always been fascinated by astronomy, and I've always been fascinated by the universe. It's so vast we can't possibly comprehend it. And ask how big the universe is, how old it is. Well, I can't answer those questions, and neither could Einstein. I know because I asked him.
And Patrick, what would you want your legacy to be in astronomy?
I've been in astronomy all my life. I've tried to do one thing, bring other people into it, and give a helping hand to those who are interested, and notably youngsters. And I hope I've done that. If I'm ever remembered for anything, it will be that. Well, I don't know. Others must judge.
Well, Sir Patrick Moore, thank you so much for joining us.
Nice to be here.
For more information on any of my guests, visit my website, themoreshow.co.uk, and click on Past Guests. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter to get the latest updates on the shows. So until next time, thanks for watching.
Visit themoreshow.co.uk/shop to purchase products and services from your favourite past guests. If you're new to this site, you can also catch up on the previous television and radio shows through YouTube and the More Show website.